So today we're doing something a little bit different, going for a hike. I gotta give my shoulder a rest for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to weigh in on something that's been going on. If you're in the cycling industry, you may have lost your job. You might know people who have lost their jobs. We've seen entire brands shuttered, race teams vanish. It's been a heavy year in cycling, and in my world, it's really interesting because also something's happening with YouTubers. I'm seeing creators that I've watched for the better part of a decade just up and quit. And so today I want to give you my perspective and tell you what's happening here on Berm Peak. Even if you're a YouTube creator that's not quitting, what's going on right now is definitely affecting you. We've seen a lot of creators weigh in on this. They all have different perspectives. And I've actually gotten private text messages from creators I know along the lines of, I can't do this anymore and something's gonna have to change. And really what's changed is the incentive structure on YouTube. So what? The changing of the incentive structures is a tale as old as YouTube, actually a tale as old as media, and it's not always doom and gloom. There are always losers and winners every time something changes. I'll give you several examples. Back in 2015, when I started YouTube, everybody was canceling their cable plans because there was so much media to consume online and on streaming platforms, and if you were on YouTube and you were making content, you were riding the wave up. I definitely was. But that's not the only thing that's happened over the last decade. There was the adpocalypse. If you remember the adpocalypse, people just basically stopped getting paid if they were making content that was edgy at all. They were demonetizing people for all sorts of stuff, and YouTube changed a lot as a result. I rode that wave up too. I had family-friendly content and I had a really large viewership. And so channels like mine were getting all-you-can-eat premium advertising. It was working out really good. So now there's another change taking place. It's a little bit more difficult to articulate. There are winners and losers, but this time it's a little bit different. See, YouTube as a platform has matured, and so nowadays it's absolutely normal to see a channel like mine with 2 editors, a communications manager, maybe somebody who works only on thumbnails. I'm responsible for my own well-being, my family, college tuitions, retirement, and then I have a whole bunch of people who work for me who rely on me for their livelihood as well. And so we're all under pressure to adapt and make this work, and that's not a very good recipe for funny, entertaining, relaxed, confident content. And so you have a channel with huge overhead lose like 30% of their revenue overnight. Sometimes the creator wants to just stop the bleeding and shut the doors and go do something else with their time. So what's actually going on? What's fueling this change? Well, on any platform on the internet, there's a variety of factors that are weighted differently for that platform to choose what content you want to watch. Let me start with an interesting example from a video I did a couple of months back. The fridge algorithm. I'll just play it for you. So let's say I come home and I load my fridge up with all of these healthy and enriching foods, the ones that I chose to buy, but then I come back to find that the fridge algorithm has optimized my selection. Might sound completely ridiculous, but that is exactly what apps like TikTok and Instagram do. And yes, YouTube does it a little bit as well. These apps ask you for your interests when you sign up. They let you subscribe to people, follow people, and then as soon as you start watching stuff and they see what you will watch, if it's served to you, all those suggestions go out the window. And you know what? I think it might be bad for you. So the fridge algorithm, that's one way to look at it, but then look at other media platforms like television. HGTV will show you a home remodeling show where you watch because at the end they're gonna show you this room that was completed. And so you sit through 3 or 4 commercial breaks to get to that, and they don't really show you anything in between. They could have condensed that into a 10-minute video easily, but they didn't because they want you to watch for as long as possible. The parameter that is weighted most heavily right now is watch time. It used to be that you would like the video, you would engage in the comments, maybe you would subscribe to the creator. There were a whole bunch of factors that were weighted to choose the video for you. Now watch time is up here and all those other factors are down here, and it's not just happening on YouTube, it's across all platforms. And a lot of people would have you think that that's the best way to go. I mean, after all, if you're willing to sit there and watch it, that's better, right? Well, that HGTV example I gave you, obviously that's not best for the user. YouTube is happy to serve you a 40-minute discussion between two people, and maybe you get one little nugget of information from that and you feel accomplished. But what about a Kyrgyzstan video that's 10 minutes long with densely packed information? Wouldn't you rather watch that and then use the 20 minutes for something else? I'm not saying that podcasts or discussions are bad. I consume a lot of them. But I'm saying that maybe watch time shouldn't be the only thing that they weight. Now, truth be told, YouTube has to adapt. If this strategy works better to keep users on the platform and serve them more ads, somebody else will do it and YouTube will cease to exist. So we can't really hold it against YouTube. We as YouTubers have to adapt. Now, there are a lot of creators that I watch that make really excellent, engaging, long content, 40 minutes, 90 minutes. Seems like there's nothing in between on YouTube anymore. You either have the shorts that are 90 seconds or videos that are 90 minutes, and then you have the 10-minute videos, which is what my entire catalog consists of. They just don't show up as much, but they still do. So I don't know if this incentive structure is actually all that bad. What was really burning out creators is having to come up with something new every single week. So working really hard on longer content and posting a little bit less might not be such a bad thing. But if we spend a month making something and then it doesn't blow up and get lots of views, well, that would be really bad. And so we're adapting and we're not putting all our eggs in one basket. I'm actually kind of excited about the prospect of exploring some topics a little deeper, making videos a little longer, going to more locations, and kind of reducing the frequency of upload a little bit. It's gonna take some time for us to develop a format, but I think that's a possibility. But we're also doing some different kinds of content, not just video. Some of you are already aware of the Berm Peak Substack. I'm about to start advertising to you, so I want to disclose that. We started a Substack page. If you don't know what that is, it's a lot like Patreon, but it's more of a publishing platform. And so we can post articles and videos, and they come up really, really nice. We're actually paying people in the mountain bike community to write interesting articles about things they're passionate about, not what's in style, not about products that are coming down the pike, but rather the things that are firing them up that they want to write about. But not just that, we're also posting all my YouTube content, Berm Peak and Berm Peak Express, all in the same place with no ads 2 weeks early. Sounds a lot like I'm paywalling my content, because I am. Very Bob Ross. Anyway, back to paywalling my videos. There are a lot of different ways that we can do that. They're not really paywalled. Professional downhill racing is now paywalled. You have to pay to watch it, whereas it used to be free on Red Bull. But by doing that, they're putting less eyes on professional downhill racers, and now companies have less reasons to sponsor them. The content on Berm Peak is all going out for free, and now we have a different incentive structure. The more people that sign up for Substack, the less of a reason I have to even care about YouTube's algorithm. I can just make whatever I want and then put it out to YouTube for free after it's been on Substack for 2 weeks. And so I don't want to paywall anything. I don't want to make it so people can't watch it for free. I just want to make sure that we have the right incentives in place to make content we care about. Oh, and actually the whole downhill racing paywall thing, we have an article on my Substack right now written by Aaron Lutzi that goes into a little bit more detail on that. And so I'm done advertising to you about my Substack, but I thought it might be something you want to know about. And like I said, it's really going to change the incentive structures and secure the future of this YouTube channel without radically changing the content into something different. And so when these social media platforms change the incentives for creators, they're also changing the way your brain works. And I'm not just exaggerating. Think of your brain as a path maker, right? Let's say we go out into the woods and there's no path, and we keep taking the same route through some trees. Eventually, little branches are gonna break, the vegetation's gonna stop growing there, the leaves are gonna get packed down, and we're gonna end up with a pathway that becomes easier and easier to take. Your brain actually works a little bit like that. If you keep doing the same thing, that neural pathway, if I'm saying it correctly, becomes easier and easier, and it becomes a habit. And so if you keep getting a dopamine rush from just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, or vegging out on the couch even though you know you're better off going for a bike ride, it's going to become easier and easier to do, and then you're gonna keep doing it, and then the cycle continues. And so a part of me knows that these changes actually result in people staying on these platforms for longer. It's like they know your brain better than you do, but I just keep coming back to this incentive structure for creators, for viewers, for everyone, and I don't know if it's good. But in some ways it can be. There are definitely creators that are riding this wave up. There are people that make really thoughtful, engaging, long videos that I find really entertaining and educational, and I actually consume a lot of them, and those creators I want to see succeed. Another thing we've been doing is taking older, shorter videos and grouping them together into compilations. We did this with the Key West trip that Alex and I took. We play them all back to back and add a little context, and it makes a big, long video that the algorithm likes. This is not a strategy that we can do long term. That's like what you do with legacy content, but it's helping ease the transition into something different. So I love hiking. Hiking is awesome, but I can't wait till the shoulder stops hurting so I can get back on my bike. Just wanted to fill you in today, give you a little context about what's going on, and let you know that I am most definitely not quitting YouTube. I wouldn't do it unless I absolutely had to. This is a dream job. I get to create things, and then it gets just judged by a completely impartial audience. I mean, people will just click off of it if they don't like it. And there's no better validation as a creative person than to have something you made be consumed and enjoyed. By next week, things are gonna look a lot more familiar here on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna be posting every week like I normally do, but I hope this filled you in on what is going on. If you wanna check out my Substack, I left a link below. There are 2 videos that you haven't seen yet up on there. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.